In this world that's absolutely packed with financial apps, what's the one thing that's the hardest to get? It's not your money, it's your trust. So today, we're going to dive into the playbook that fintechs are using to, well, hack that trust and turn it into their single biggest advantage.
All right, so let me just ask you this straight up. When we're talking about your own money, who do you actually listen to? Okay, so on one side of the coin, you've got this super slick, polished ad, right? It looks great, but you can almost smell the sales pitch. But on the other side, you get a tip from a friend, someone you actually know who's using a service and is genuinely excited about it. The difference in trust there? It's huge. It's night and day. And that gap, that's the single biggest challenge for pretty much every fintech out there.
And there's actually a name for this gap. People call it the FinTech trust deficit. I mean, think about it. When you're dealing with people's money, their life savings, getting them to trust you is the biggest and, the most expensive challenge you'll face. It's why ads cost so much. They're fighting an uphill battle against our built-in skepticism.
So if spending a fortune on ads is kind of broken, what's the smart move? Well, it's referral marketing. It's this really elegant solution where you basically turn your happiest customers into your best, most trusted salespeople. Simple, right?
And look, this isn't just some theory or a gut feeling. The data here is absolutely mind-blowing. Nielsen did this huge study and found that 92%, that's almost everyone, 92% of us trust a recommendation from a friend or family member way more than any ad we see. Now just think about how much that gets amplified when we're talking about our actual money.
So for a business, this is like the holy grail. It creates this perfect trifecta for growth that you just can't buy, no matter how big your ad budget is. You get that crucial trust right from the start, you slash your costs for getting new customers, and you build this amazing loyalty with both the person who shared and the new person who signed up. It's a win-win-win.
Okay, let's talk numbers. What does this actually mean for the business's bank account? Well, on average, customers who come from a referral have a 30% lower customer acquisition cost, that's CAC, or how much you spend to get one new user. A 30% discount on getting new customers? That is a total game changer for any company.
But wait, it gets even better. Not only are these customers cheaper to bring on board, they're actually more valuable over the long run. Referred users have, on average, a 16% higher lifetime value. They stick around longer, they use the product more. It creates this incredible positive cycle of growth.
All right, so we get the why it works, right? More trust, lower cost, higher value. But what about the how? How do you actually do this in the real world? Let's take a look at some of the giants. Think Robinhood, Revolut, Coinbase, and see how they crack this code.
And what's really interesting is that they all did it a little differently. Robinhood, they played on exclusivity, offering free stock. Revolut just kept it super simple. Here's some cash. And Coinbase, well, they did something perfectly aligned with their product. They gave out a Bitcoin bonus. The big takeaway here is that there is no one-size-fits-all answer. The best reward is the one that makes sense for your product and your users.
Now, one thing most of these successful programs have in common is something called dual incentives. The concept is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You reward the person who's doing the sharing, and you reward the new person who's signing up. It's this perfect win-win. It makes the whole thing feel like a generous gift, not some slimy sales tactic. And that's what really gets people to participate.
And it's not just about the reward. The really great programs add a few other smart tactics. They gamify the experience, like Robinhood did with their famous waitlist to build hype. They use tiered rewards, where you get better and better stuff the more friends you bring in, kind of like Wealthfront does. And maybe the most important thing of all, they make it ridiculously simple to share, like one-click simple. Nubank is a master at this.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I actually build one? Well, the good news is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a pretty clear blueprint to follow. Let's switch gears from just talking about it to actually doing it, with a simple 5-step plan for building your own referral machine.
Okay, step 1, figure out what you're trying to achieve. Define your goals. Step 2, pick a reward that actually makes sense for your users. Step 3, and this one is so important, make it incredibly ridiculously easy to share. But you're not done yet. The last 2 steps are a cycle. You have to watch the numbers and tweak things. That's monitoring and optimizing. And you have to actually tell people about the program. It's this constant loop.
Build, measure, learn, promote, and repeat.
You know, when you pull back and look at the big picture, it all circles back to one core idea. We live in a world that's obsessed with complicated growth hacks and clever marketing tricks. But maybe, just maybe, the ultimate growth hack isn't a hack at all. Maybe it's just about earning and using trust.
So if you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this. Your happiest customers, they aren't just users on a dashboard. They are your single most powerful, most believable, and most affordable engine for growth. Period. The absolute smartest thing you can do is give them the tools to spread the word.
And that really just leaves us with one final big question to think about. As more and more of our financial world becomes automated and digital, could it be that the most valuable currency of all isn't the dollar or the euro or even Bitcoin, but something as simple and as old-fashioned as human trust?